paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, that's downright refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
Well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Brainstorm Brewery. And I can say
you gotta
that.
say something else.
I can say that with a straight face this time, because this is a special bonus episode. That's what we do here. Earth-shattering news. You get a very special extra episode.
You went to school for journalism. You have to come in with like a breaking news, like Kennedy was shot or something. You have to like.
Jamie Kennedy was shot.
The guy who was in all those Christian movies. Yeah. So if you didn't hear the news, I don't know why you're listening to this bonus special podcast solely about the news, but Magic 30 happened. Of course, this happened right after we recorded our episode for the week. So here we are catching up on what I always said would be Magic jumping the shark. And that is the reprint of the reserved list. The Power 9.
With an asterisk.
With an asterisk.
Wait, how did you pronounce that word?
An asterisk.
An asterisk?
Asterisk.
What are you, a pirate?
Asterisk.
That's better.
Would a pirate ever use the word asterisk? Ever?
I don't know.
It's an excellent question.
I think Johnny Depp might. Like,
I mean, you gotta be a pirate to afford the $1,000 booster pack fun that comes with your Power 9.
Different opinions about this product, which is why we decided to talk about it.
So I'll get the basics out of the way first. They're doing a lot of stuff for Magic 30. There's all kinds of stuff, but the only thing anyone cared to talk about today is the $1,000 product you can buy directly from Wizards of the Coast that comes with, count them, not one, not two, not three, but 4 booster packs.
Or a $200 gift card from Joanne Fabrics.
Or roughly 3,300 chicken nuggets from Wendy's.
Yes. On average, so what I understand here is that they are essentially reprinting a beta-like set. Beta art on the basics. You got duels. These are going to be collector's edition. That means that they will have a different back. They will not be tournament legal. That includes your local gaming store's Commander Night tournament.
That means that they said they will not be sanctioned legal, which is more of a distinction than it used to be. Like back
Sheldon summed it up on Twitter nicely by saying, if you read the rules of what a legal card is in Commander, which hasn't changed, they're not legal. We're not going to Kool-Aid Man through the wall of your house while you're playing casual Magic and enforce this.
Right, and like the definition of what is a sanctioned tournament is.
Yeah, Command Fest is where it really is going to be interesting, right?
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, 2012, all the tournaments were like sanctioned. That was how you did you scaled up your store. That was how you did all your stuff. They have multi-hundred not sanctioned tournaments nowadays.
Yes. At the same time, though, this product, we were talking about this before the cast, they're going to be giving one to premium stores, WP and premium stores, and all of that sort of stuff. Those metrics are still based on attendance and event.
They are, but and
things like that. So it is kind of a catch-22, but it's just awkward, right?
People buy collector's edition cards, the ones from 93.
They do.
To play them in tournaments. Like, I sell collector's edition cards to people who will play them in old school tournaments. And those people will play those cards for cash prizes. Yeah. And then they will hang out at the event, and it will be just like a normal event.
Yep.
And they will play those Magic cards against each other in a tournament.
Yes.
Just like you can do with these.
You're absolutely right. The line between sanctioned and not sanctioned in the advent of Commander means less than it ever did before. And it was already getting pushed.
Buggy ass tournament software. You can have a tournament. You can have people show up. You can have cash prizes. But what you can't do is use their.
You can't have your event crash in round 4 and restart the entire thing.
A guy said he dropped, but he really didn't drop, so we're repairing everybody.
If it'll let you repair that day, if it'll even let you start the tournament that day.
Well, there's a couple other tweaks that they made to this beta set. There's some excluded cards. Of note, Contract from Below, Dark Pact, and Demonic Attorney. These are all cards that reference the word anti in the rules text. I can only assume that these are disallowed because of, like, international sales in countries where the gambling laws are a bit more strict. That's my educated guess, is that, like, Germany would not let you sell this product with the word anti in it.
Yeah, possible for sure.
Crusade is another one of the no-no cards that they banned for cultural reasons. Earthbind has some pretty explicit art that I think everyone can agree on. Weakness is one that I'm not sure is why it's on the list. Just I thought it might have, like, been done by Harold McNeil. It's not. It's Doug Schuler. I have no idea why Weakness is being excluded from this set, but maybe that's just me not being.
I'll say the art is pretty unique on it. I'll say that.
Maybe you should,
but I don't know.
Sit your mono white ass down and listen.
Well, the original wording on Weakness though was A+. Target creature loses -2/-1. If this drops the creature's toughness below 1, it is dead.
It is dead. Not even destroyed. It is
dead. Period.
It's dead and it goes to the graveyard.
Don't
Nice.
dead open inside. Like,
You know how you do? You throw a fireball and then that fireball gets buried in a grave. You know how that happens, guys. You know how there's a dead fireball and then you bring it back to life with raised dead. Remember that?
this has got to be a reference to something that
It's
I'm
just
just not.
eBay resurrecting Channel Fireball. Is that? Well,
I
this
mean, I thought it was like a weird 80s reference. So
okay, so this product, you can open a Black Lotus. Okay, let's just get this out of the way. On average, you get, based on some math I've seen on Twitter, in theory, 30% of a pack, or 30% of the packs will have a dual land or a power 9 in them.
They specifically said the duels are more common. They made the duels twice as common in this to make them more accessible to Commander players, which, like,
Yeah.
good, cool, awesome. This is great. Like, I don't see the issue with this product, and I realize that will get me crucified on Twitter, but, like, I don't yell at Ferrari for making expensive cars when I drive a 2014 Ford Focus with a transmission issue.
This
like,
isn't
what
about
are we doing?
the product. It's about the broken promises. Mark Rosewater was asked in 2017 if you're making a cube product, I think a clearly labeled non-legal version of powerful cards that you can't reprint in black borders, gold border cards would be nice. Or maybe host something like You Make the Cube on the website and release a product like the Anthology series with some of the results. From the Vault Cubes would be a fun one too. And Mark Rosewater said in 2017, we are unwilling to reprint reserved list cards at normal card size, regardless of border or back. So that was a lie.
I mean,
lie.
listen, that's what a lot of people think. It was true at that time. Have you considered that since 2017, they've developed the ability to sell these directly to consumers at $1,000? Have you considered that?
Have you considered that the CEO of Hasbro, like, was the CEO of Wizards, and before that he worked, I'm assuming not at a games company, kind of went, what do we do here? It's a card game. Yeah, whatever, nerd. How do we make more money? I don't know. Charge way too much for a product? All right, that number went up. This is what we do now. We print money, and
I honestly think that
this is going to sell out.
Yeah, it will.
Yes,
but, like, I think they're playing just the tip with getting rid of the reserved list. And
no, I don't think so.
People are panicking.
I am the exact opposite on this.
Yeah, I'll say this for people who don't know, and then I'll let DJ give his take on that. We'll start with the reserve list issue here. They printed Phyrexia and Negator and maybe another card that were on the reserve list. Mox Diamond, yeah. And they did it in a special premium version.
Negator was in a dual deck, then Mox Diamond was in an FTV.
Yeah, Negator was the only foil card in that.
Right. So they were premium versions, which was a loophole in the reserved list language. The legal side of Wizards did not like that. They came back out and doubled down. They changed the language a little bit. They clarified that they would not be using that loophole in the future. And then you have posts like the 2017 Mark Rosewater saying, we're just not doing this. And here we are in 2022. Money printer goes burr, and we're doing it for $1,000 per buy, $250
Why don't they just
charge
charge $1,000 for the Post Malone secret layer? If you want something that's gonna sell out, charge $1,000 to get old Posty, the old Posty secret layer. He's super popular. You could sell those for $1,000.
So look, clearly this is not a technical violation of the reserved list, as these are not tournament legal cards. Does that feel good to you, Jason? It doesn't look like it, but I do. That's what they're saying.
I don't care about that. I care about that, like, EDH is like the one group of people who are still buying singles from the secondary market, because competitive players are like, I haven't bought a single Magic card since I bought a playset of Murktide. Also, why is EDH the only format getting catered to? They're not supporting the secondary market. EDH players are. That's where all the money in singles is right now. And they've basically told those people, proxy whatever the you want.
I still sell a lot of Modern and Pioneer cards. Like, I realize I am not Star City level of large, but, like, my distribution between, like, competitive and casual is not, like, 90-10. It's probably, like, 70-30.
Yeah, especially now people are coming back to
there are still a lot
Magic.
Of like local tournaments going on, and I have people asking me for like Black green Yawgmoth.
Yeah.
In addition to like several other competitive decks like Temporal Trespass combo and just like all these other like actual 60 card decks, or 80 card if you're a stupid Yorion player.
Well, so here's
I'm wrong. You're fine with losing 70% of your income. That's cool.
Well, do you think that's
what does that even mean?
That's the question. Is Jason's looking at this from the angle of Wizards is essentially charging you $1,000 for proxies. Now, is that the accurate way to describe this product? I don't know,
care
but
that
it's certainly
$1,000. I care that they are normalizing proxies.
Yeah.
They're normalizing proxies.
When they've said in the past,
like, oh, this is not for tournaments, so EDH players can use them.
They've said in the past, like, that they don't care if you play with your playtest cards at home. Like, they've said that multiple times, like, on other Wizards announcements. Like, they've clarified their stance on fan-made cards and all these other things. They've said, like, we don't care if you use these at home. That's fine. They've said that dozens of times over the past few years.
And now they're encouraging it and enabling it.
So?
I don't like that.
I will continue to sell plenty of Commander cards. Like, if somebody, like, can afford a dual land now, that doesn't mean that they're going to, like, not buy all the other cards. They will still buy all the other cards.
I'm not going to get into it's a slippery slope, but, like, it feels like just the tip. And you know what? The tip's the most unpleasant part.
So, my thoughts on the reserved list aspect is that this is them until existing Hasbro lawyers or whatever dark, shadowy puppeteer who has their holds on the reserve list, until that person dies or expires or whatever. This is them saying, this is as good as you get. This is our, like, reaffirmment of the reserve list that, like, no, it's not going away. You're not going to... Because if they were going to break the reserve list, this is the product to do it with, right? Like, if they're going to shatter the reserve list, do it on the 30th anniversary, make it a huge thing. Make it a big...
They want to see if this sells out. They know
it'll sell out.
It's going to sell out.
They don't need to see if it'll sell out. They sold the fucking...
They want to see what the backlash is. They want to test the waters. It's the
do you guys remember the Throne of Eldraine Deluxe Edition?
Mythic Edition, family Mythic.
No, it was the Throne of Eldraine Deluxe Edition. It was $450
it came
in
with
2019.
Like the Garrick, right?
It came with a super cool Garrick the Hunted or Huntsman or whatever, and it was $450. It came with like a cool box, and it sold out.
Everything
$450. That product had like $100 in EV in it, and it sold out. They didn't need to test the waters.
It's not about the price. That's not why I'm upset. I don't care about the price. I'm gonna buy one.
You care about the idea. You care about the idea that Wizards is.
I care about the idea that
selling tournament non-legal cards with the intention of people playing them in a format where previously people would not.
Would have less. Would have not felt.
Would have fewer proxies. Yeah.
And you don't need a dual land and EDH, so I don't know why everyone's complaining.
I agree you don't need a dual land and EDH, but like those are the only cards that are probably going in EDH decks, in addition, like maybe Wheel of Fortune or like...
Yeah, wheels are good for EDH players here. For
Demonic Tutor will still be $40, $50, like that one's not going anywhere.
Oh, I'm not worried about the prices of these individual cards tanking either.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that either. Because this current run is going to be so small. Yeah.
I don't like change.
I don't think that the reserve list is going away until whatever person that, like...
It doesn't matter. Confidence in the reserve list is being eroded. It doesn't
you mean
matter
like it did when Box Diamond got reprinted? Ooh.
The reserve list is like Tinkerbell.
And then Magic quintupled.
I mean, I don't think anyone's like disagreeing with you there, right? Like
the reserve list is like Tinkerbell. You have to believe in it or it dies. Right?
I don't think most players believe in the reserve list right now. I think they desperately want it gone.
They don't have any money.
DJ, haven't you argued in the past that the reserve list is actively good for Magic?
No, I argued that it wasn't going away, so there was no point in like debating it.
I thought you said that. I could be wrong here, and JJ can cut this if I am, but have you not said something like it's good for people to have chase expensive cards?
That is also, like, it is good for people to have chase expensive cards.
But his was like, DJ's point was like, don't complain about it. That's like being mad at Ferraris for existing.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all definitely agree on that point, right?
Yes.
My
point was like,
this could be $5,000. I don't give a. I'd probably no. I'd like to think I wouldn't.
Jason.
I like to think I would.
Focus group taking notes.
No kidding.
Okay, but this is the last time. That's me every time I buy collector boosters. I'm like, Dominaria United has like cards from Legends in it, but this is the last time I'm buying collector boosters.
So look, you at home, you can decide if you think this is the first step to getting rid of the reserved list, or if you think this is just a thing they figured out they can do around the reserved list, and money printer goes burr, and this is all you're going to get for the next 30 years. Like, we don't know what the case is.
This could be great for Legacy, like Legacy, the format. Like, people could...
How?
You know how
stores already run, like I said, stores already run tournaments where you can play proxies. Like, vintage tournaments all have proxies. Canadian Highlander tournaments all have proxies.
I know. So what is it?
Tournaments all have proxies.
So don't their proxies just look better, and they still can't... Like, these proxies are the whole point of those tournaments, because I've participated in and run those, is that people proxy the cards they can't afford. These cards are all still going to be hundreds of dollars. It doesn't... I guess it's cool that people can have
I think there's a big difference between $800 for an Underground Sea and $300 for an Underground Sea, or $200 or whatever it ends up being. There's a massive... Like, Legacy was big. Legacy was huge in like 2012 through 2015 when duels were more affordable.
And sanctioned tournaments where these duels cannot
they had events too.
Yeah, and tournaments. Like, this is why this haul is just so bad. Like,
it's not bad.
The messaging... Look, DJ, you can like the product, but the messaging around it and it's just bad to have... You can have these duels and you can play them in Commander, but you can't play... You still got to you can use these proxies but now they're proxies in this tournament. Like, it's just... The lines are so blurred between all this stuff. Like, hell, just let people play them, you know?
I figured out how they're going to get rid of the reserve list. They distracted Hasbro's lawyers. Right?
they got sued by judges.
Hasbro's lawyers by using some art that they don't have the rights to.
Well, yes, we can move into the next topic of this. Well, we can go with that. Quentin Hoover's sons. Quentin Hoover is an original Magic artist, and if you don't know, back in the early days of Magic, they didn't buy the art from artists and then own it.
They licensed it for some amount of time or uses.
Yeah, right. They had some kind of agreements with the different artists. And that means that something has to happen, and at least one artist's family is claiming that they were not contacted for permission for this or compensated in any way for their father's art being used. So that's a little legal wrench thrown into things here.
I went to law school, and that's what they call not a good look.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly not a legal expert, but like I think this could be enough. Like, if there's enough traction, and I don't even know if you need multiple families or whatever, but like I think that the Hoover brothers could like
just
easily
say the Hoovers.
I think they could easily throw a wrench into the production and distribution of this product, is what I am saying.
If they, so the way that would have to go is if they got like an injunction against the product being released. But in all likelihood, Wizards is just going to write them a check if they have a case. Right?
Yes.
Like,
well, if all they want is compensation, Wizards is, in a position
to
be like, well, I think we'll make some money, so this seems okay.
So,
but
DJ, I want to hear...
exclude Meekstone for the same reason they excluded Weakness?
What?
Which is a reason we don't know.
Isn't Meekstone, like, not beta? I think it's like Antiquities, right?
I have no idea.
No, Meekstone was... You're thinking Weakstone.
I think both of them were from Antiquities originally, because that's, like, where those... Like, that's where they were unearthed. It is Antiquities. That's, like, a storyline thing.
Alpha Beta on Meekstone.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew it was in 4th. Like, I don't remember anything before 4th edition, so I don't like.
Yeah. So DJ, I want to give you the floor though to just kind of elaborate for people listening. If they've spent any time around the internet today, they've seen lots of people saying many negative things about this product. Why do you think that this product, as they're doing it, why do you think players should not be like, oh, the sky is falling, and is this actually good for Magic? Like, what's your take there?
The only semblance of an argument, and I don't even know if I agree with it entirely, the only partial argument I can somewhat a little bit maybe agree with is that it should have been a box set instead of booster packs. Where you get a whole product
a set,
of 30 cards or 50 cards or whatever. But even then, I still think that it's just don't buy it then. Let somebody else buy it. Make fun of them. It's fine. I don't care. We've had this exact conversation on a slightly smaller scale.
We have.
When Modern Masters first came out, right? Oh my god, $10 packs. It's okay if you can't afford them. Let other people buy them. The singles will drop slightly. Then you can buy the singles. Everybody wins. Ultimate Masters. Oh my god, they're $15 packs. That's fine. You can get your Ancient Tomb for $20 or $30 or not $80. Just buy the singles later. It's the same thing. Why is that not the same thing?
Right, exactly. Look, if you don't want to take ivermectin for COVID, just don't buy it. There are no other issues here. If you don't want it, don't buy it. There's nothing else going on. It's just a simple case of you don't want it, don't buy it. Right, DJ? You're a COVID denier in this scenario.
That's why I got out of that too, clearly. I'm going to give this hot take to what you said, DJ. You ask, how is it different? And the difference is Magic players on the internet want these things. And they don't want to pay $1,000 or they can't. But they do want them.
I see.
Therefore, Wizards is in the wrong for not pricing them at a level in which anyone who wants them can get them.
So, Ferrari meme.
I kind of think so. I mean, look, that's kind of honestly my unvarnished, also people may not like to hear it take, is that a lot of people are not mad that they're doing this. They're mad that it's more expensive than they can afford.
Right, and so I heard the other
that's
argument.
Fine, but I don't know, man. We know the score. We're 30 years in, man. The model hasn't changed.
I heard this other argument from 2 or 3 people today, and it's this is how they celebrate Magic 30. Really? Yeah, this is a celebration. There were 900 other announcements today. There were 900 other announcements today, and none of them cost $1,000. There's so many other things they're doing for Magic 30. They're doing the Vegas event. They're doing the Secret Lair Advent Calendar thing. They're doing the Brothers War. They're doing all these other really cool things for Magic 30. They're doing the virtual attendance ticket with Richard Garfield. They're doing a million things for Magic 30. This is the one thing they did for the 1%, and that's what you're mad at.
Yep, because they
No,
want
I'm
them.
also mad at the Post Malone Secret Lair. Why don't we do a Happy Days Secret Lair? And is that
jump the shark fully? Jump the shark fully? Go back to the original Jumping the Shark?
Yeah. It was the Fonz, baby. And
I always said that
the Fonz was cool. Wizards has never been as cool as the Fonz.
I always said that reprinting the Power 9 would be the Jumping the Shark moment for me, for Magic. That said...
The thing that happened?
Look, that said, I wonder how long they can do stuff like this.
That's what I'm worried about too. You know, the only thing I tweeted about this today was you can shear a sheep every year, but you can only skin it once.
That only works if Magic players don't have infinite pockets, though, which they apparently do.
But like,
no, we've seen them run the course.
Doing the one, they have a gun with one bullet in it, which is the reserved list.
Well, in that sense, but they also they have pushed and pulled back on different premium things. Even if you go all the way back to masterpieces, right? They blew their loads on those super early and then just stopped doing them.
And they found something else.
Yeah. So I'll say this: Cedric Phillips went on Twitter today and pushed back hard on the complainers, and I was
100% right. Every tweet that Cedric made was 100% right.
Go to coalesceapparel.com.
Yes.
Use the gift code Brainstorm Brewery to buy some of Cedric Phillips'
Support people
apparel.
who are smart,
like this hoodie, like this Shivam bought T-shirt.
There you go. We've been calling Magic a luxury. We've been calling Magic a luxury hobby, similar to Porsches or whatever, for literal 10 years, and we have taken so much for it. Like, there have been people in my DMs, people who I knew, who we'd get on here and we'd try to explain some of this stuff, and we'd have people come at us for explaining how capitalism works to Wizards of the Coast, the capitalism company. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
like somebody told me today, they're like, this is the most blatant cash grab they've ever done. I'm like, they're a business. The entire thing, all of it is a cash grab. That's the point, is to grab the cash from the people you're selling things to.
Yeah. I don't. And it's like, this is what I think a lot of the complaining is. Look, Wizards has bowed to Twitter pressure in the past. Twizzards of the Coast.
You said wrong. It's just a funny
I got you.
word.
No, Twizzards of the Coast is who needs to be running the game for sure.
Twizzles on the coast.
But it always felt to me like people wanted to shoot the messenger. Like if you got rid of the people telling you that cards cost money, then cards won't cost money because it's just the evil speculators making cards cost money. And we're just sitting here for 10 years fighting the good fight saying that's not the case. And I saw a lot of the same kind of discourse on Twitter today where it's like, again, what do you expect them to do? You complained about Magic 30. It sold out instantly. You complained about every premium product and they just keep selling them. Like maybe Magic Twitter isn't who should be driving the discourse, I guess.
And
how about
Magic has always been one of the most accessible hobbies in terms of this kind of like what we are like as a brand, as a like, you can always just buy the dual deck or buy the Commander precons or buy like
$30,
the bulk commons and uncommons from your LGS and just jam games. Like you can download Arena and grind for free. Like
45% of the value of your when you're done. You know how much a used kayak sells for?
Yeah, well, look, a bunch of kids still play. Like my friends' kids, who are like 3rd, 4th grade, came home from summer camp over the summer with their friends having shown them Pokemon and Magic. Like that is still how human beings play this game. They don't just play it an EV spreadsheet game on Twitter. So yeah, look, I think that this is a very interesting part. But when I say I don't know how much they can, not only is this sort of one, the biggest sort of bullet in the gun, as Jason was alluding to, but the wad in the cannon. But yeah, I mean, eventually do they hunt? Do they push whales out? Is 130 secret layers too many? I don't know.
Okay, so like next year they'll do like 2 years from now they can do
Assassin's Creed. What is it? 2016.
2 years from now they'll do an Arabian Nights one. Corbin.
They'll do what, DJ?
Corbin, 2 years from now they'll do an Arabian Nights one, and people will lose their goddamn minds.
Hey, look, I tend to agree with you, man. I'm not disagreeing. And in 5 years they'll do a modern. They'll do a modern Horizons reprint run. Like I'm with you.
They'll do a Gaia's Cradle. They'll do it's fine, and they'll do gold border ones, and people will eat it up. They'll eat it up because $300 Gaia's Cradle is a much better pill to swallow than $800.
I'm going to be honest. I have much more of a problem with the number of products being pushed than a product like this, because the number of products.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah,
we do every week.
We do every week because it's
more about the number of products being released than there have products being released.
New Capenna has been pushed off the new products. The top latest product on EDH Rec. If you go to EDH Rec and click on sets, you don't get New Capenna. You got to click on all sets.
Yeah. I think that's a much bigger problem just because of the quality control that we've seen across a number of like. If I were to pick an issue with Magic, it's not the $1,000 product for whales. It's
foils.
Yeah.
Putting foils in collector boosters was terrible because it destroyed the mystique of a foil.
Yes.
Now foils are completely trash, but also they're bent trash.
The curling has gotten better on them, but that is one thing we can agree on, is that, like, regular foil cards should not exist anymore.
They don't need to exist, for sure.
Foils should be special. Stop doing, like, oh, you open a Shieldred, normal foil. You open a Shieldred showcase foil. You open a Shieldred Phyrexian foil.
It's just like, why does this exist, though? Like, this is a Flowstone Kavu. It's a foil common and a Dominaria United booster. It's worth less than a penny. Like, a collector booster.
Why are you foiling turds?
Like, this is not special. The collector, like, we talk about things being overdone or whatever. Like, collector boosters sure lost luster, haven't they?
Foil commons there still does need to be a world where foil commons exist, because people need to be able to have fully foiled out decks.
I know. I understand.
But, like, yeah, there shouldn't be foil commons in collector boosters, 100%. That should be non-existent.
Because it's almost insulting, because the first half of your collector booster, your $100 booster pack or whatever, it's just trash.
Yes.
Well, like, I don't care if it's not Magic. I like, it's just trash. Like, at least with the double masters ones, like, your $2
borderless foils, like a blood artist,
it was an Eternal Witness or whatever.
We haven't fixed Magic. We've been at it for what, 30 minutes? We have
30 minutes here. Well, look, this was I think we've covered a lot of it here. Is there anything else about the announcements or the Power 9 that you all think we should touch on?
Because there were 9,000 announcements today, and everyone was just being a sourpuss over the one thing that didn't even affect them. If you want to buy a really cool thing from Magic 30, the thing they talked about right before that, the part that your brain just phased out, your short-term memory just crumbled to dust like a goddamn Eldrazi ate it. Yeah, the $150 Secret Lair is insane. You should be buying as many of those as you can. The calendar, or the whatever it is, the Advent calendar. It comes with an old border Chrome Mox, which is like $80 or $100 it'll be. It comes with a Necropotence, which for some reason Blake pronounces it Necropotence. Can we fire him for that?
I'll let him know. I'll see him in a few weeks. I'll let him know.
It is Necropotence.
Okay, Mr. Artificer.
Hey, man, it's Obzon, and you can be mad, but it's actually Garuk, and be mad all you want, but it's Garuk. No one says Garuk, but it's Garuk.
That Secret Lair is incredible. It has Birthing Pod, it has 4 other cards that I don't remember, and then it has 23 other cards that I haven't seen yet, and I would have bought it based on the 7 they showed. That Secret Lair is incredible.
How to pronounce
they need to bring back? They need to bring back the 1996 tear-off Magic card art a day calendar, because I tore them all off, because that's what you do with a thing a day.
Jason, they did reprint that. There's a Planes that turns into a Battlefield Forge.
That's true.
I love peeling, baby.
I forgot about the little golf hole card.
It's like, hey, are you going to give me a good card to ruin with my art? They're like, no, we're going to give you a Battlefield Forge. It's the least played Painland.
Yeah, look, they're going pretty deep on Brothers War here. I think that's also pretty cool.
Mishra and Urza as like meld cards is insane. That's so cool. Yeah,
I like that too.
Hey, guess what? I still don't have Dominaria United cards in my decks. Can we stop talking about 5 sets from now? Like, seriously, I think there's a problem we're seeing on EDH Rec where these pre-con decks are all the pre-con cards because people build their lists on Archidect and Moxfield and all those places, every place on the internet except Tapped Out. When they're building on those sites, they just like, oh, I'm going on the pre-con because I don't have cards in my hands. So people don't have the physical cards in their collections in their hands, so they're just building off the list, and they put way too many pre-con cards that if they actually built the deck, they'd take out. So the lists are, and then the lists get pushed off. The Warhammer 40K will be off the front page of EDH Rec's new sets before the product comes out. Yeah. So who's looking at those lists? The pace of products coming out has made it so, like, I literally have half of an AO deck built, just sitting on my desk. Like, when am I going to finish that? I built multiple decks since then.
I think
if you don't build a deck in like a 2-week period, you're.
I think it's okay to not have to build a deck every set.
I want to build new decks, but every time I get halfway done with the deck, they're like, "Well, there's a new set." I'm like, "Well, I'll just build a deck from that set then.
I don't have this problem per se.
Every 2 weeks, they're dumping 70 new legendary creatures on us. It's like drowning.
I realize that I play the least Magic out of all of us, but I say this even as some, like, back when I was playing more Magic, back when I had 5 Commander decks and 2 Modern decks and a Standard deck and whatever, even back then, I would make 1 EDH deck a year, maybe.
You make the least content out of us. It's not about the decks. It's about the content.
So all the people who are making decks on EDH Rec are content creators. Is that it?
No, I said it's not about the decks. It's about the people that have to...
It's about you. Like... Okay, it's about you. I understand.
It is about me. I'm the one who's upset.
He is complaining about his personal preferences here, so I do think that's fair, yeah.
I'm complaining about the fact that they released 4 times as much product this year as they did last year.
Yeah, that's a lot of product.
That's a spicy product ball.
Look, I like it personal. If we're talking personal feelings, I love it because every time a card gets played to me at a commander table, it's new to me.
That's an awesome feeling, I think.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't know.
Not having an encyclopedic memory of every card that might get played against you is good for game design. Yes.
Having to read some shit. Having to play cards like how this works is like, I don't know. I still don't know how mutate works.
No one knows how mutate
no
works.
I got left behind in 2020 and I never caught up.
It doesn't matter.
I do think it is good for a game design perspective to like have unknowns in your like game that somebody can play against you, and you don't know they exist until you get them played against you. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, it is good. I mean, for me, it's just even a couple years ago, I knew every card.
Yeah,
every new card even, and now I don't. Yeah,
because we used to do set reviews. Can you imagine every episode of this podcast would be a set review? That's why we don't do them.
It would be, yeah. So going back to DJ's point, though, they have a lot of promos that are coming out. There's going to be really neat versions of classic cards. We're talking, Ball Lightnings, whatever.
I do have one complaint about those.
Yeah, go ahead. Well,
I have been the person who has been stop complaining, you stupid idiot, for the past 40 minutes. So I will submit I'll submit my Morty Smith complaint checklist card. Whatever.
So for what they've done one card from each year of Magic, is the way they did this.
Don't make the casual ones non-English. Make the competitive ones non-English. People will lose their minds over a Japanese alt-frame goif. Nobody cares about Italiano, Spanish, Colonian Hydras. Like, if people can't read that card, they don't want to play it. Everybody knows what Snapcaster does. Everybody knows what Swords of Plowshares does. Make those the Japanese or the German or the whatever.
Have to agree with that for sure.
And like, why just don't make the EDH card with 19 rules words on it like come out in Portuguese?
This is what happens when they said you have to put together 12 different products for Magic 30. You have 2 weeks. Go. Because then they have. I
don't think that's a tough decision to make. I think you just like make the Dark Confidant be like Japanese.
I was trying to give them some credit there, but I do agree with you on that. That the choices. Look, I actually love the way they're doing it. I love everything about those promotions, but I agree with you that
it is a very minor complaint.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, like I think most of the decisions they're making are very good. I think the game is headed in a very good overall direction, even if it is not the game that you grew up with, even if it is not the game that you enjoyed as a kid, even if it's something that is completely foreign to what you joined the game with 3 or 4 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think the game as a whole will continue to add new players and new sets and new products and new under the same existing rule set. And to quote Cedric Phillips again, adapt or die.
Yeah, and I think the one thing I want to tie to this is it's not a zero-sum game as much as people want it to be. If they make $1 billion,
what do you mean by a zero-sum game, Corbin? Just for the full.
Sure. So what I mean is that the existence of, for instance, $1,000 Magic product does not come at the expense of you wanting to play Pioneer or whatever. The Pro Tour, as someone who's very tied into the competitive side of things, the Pro Tour is coming back in paper. We have a robust system of qualifiers, and there can obviously be improvements made. But there is a thriving I'm thriving is the right word because we're obviously coming out of the pandemic, but we are very much on the upswing of competitive play, and that's happening alongside all of this. We have people excited to play in arena alchemy events because they're playing for $20,000 in this event they qualified for in arena, and they're playing in their pajamas at home. That's all happening, and it has nothing to do with this. The Pro Tour and paper, that's all happening. It has nothing to do with this. Like, Magic is not just this thing that's dominating the internet discourse.
And the Warhammer Commander decks tie into that too. Like, those will bring in people who have never touched Magic. Those Warhammer players are going into that shop every week and spending $8 million on their armies and paint and all that stuff. Because if you think Magic's expensive,
what if you didn't have to paint your figs, Warhammer players?
Well, then you get a sticker. You have to do something.
I'm just picturing Warhammer players coming in and like getting cards altered because they think it's mandatory.
There's that acorn card that makes you draw something on it to be able to use it in Infinity. It's like it has flying if you draw wings. It has menace if you draw scary eyes. It has haste if you draw boots.
We did this this bonus episode about the big announcements today, so I will save my rant about why Infinity is terrible for next week.
Yeah, we'll save that. But there you go. That
can be our whole main topic, because I got some opinions too about why that's set.
Oh, there you go.
But
check back in next week for Infinity. Also, check out our regular episode. We did include some more Magic Finance this week after some feedback from the previous episode. Fewer pitches for sure. Thanks for listening to the bonus episode, everybody.
No,
if you are...
don't let people who suck dictate how we do this podcast.
You're
negotiating with terrorists.
Jason, Corbin has sucked for a long time, and he has dictated this podcast for a long time. I hate to break it to you.
We dictate what we do with this podcast, and that's why you get this bonus episode, and you got it early if you went to patreon.com/BSB and supported us. So please...
That guy probably doesn't even listen to the podcast anymore anyway.
No, probably not. But please let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on Magic 30, on the anniversary products, on all of it. Do the like and subscribe thing on all that on YouTube. But this is certainly going to generate some discussion. I don't think I've seen DJ this fired up about a Magic related topic in a hot minute. So
write a 100-word review on iTunes, please. Please. Apple just lost their universal charger in Europe. They need this.
Give us 5 apples on the Apple Store. Give us 5 blueberries on Blueberry. Give us 5 pods on Podbean.
I got nothing for you.
It's not 5 beans.
I would think
that was the joke.
Myself.
You just described the
but
joke.
Beans come in a pod.
Thanks, DJ.
Beans come in a pod, right?
Explaining the joke explains the joke.
Is Blueberry an actual app?
Yeah, that's where we get our, like, how many people downloaded our podcast statistics.
And
it went down by 1 person.
See, I thought the Blueberry part was the joke because I didn't think that was a real thing.
No, I think that's an actual platform.
Yeah, because you've never dealt with a podcast back end, that's why.
Correct. We pay somebody to do that.
Thanks. Yeah, we do what we
don't
know
pay
how
ourselves.
To do, which is we say, "Hey, it's broken. Fix it, somebody."
All our Patreon money goes to 5 people: our accountant and 4 people that we subcontract. We don't get any of the money. Go to patreon.com/BSB. Give Corbin's friend JJ some money. Give Matt, the guy who does our thumbnails, some money. Give our intern some money. He's our intern. Does he
is one of
money?
The interns we've ever had. Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah. He likes money.
Does
he deserve it?
Well, everybody, thank you for listening to the bonus episode. Remember to check us out across the internet. We'll see you next time. This is Brainstorm Brewery.
You said bone.
You
said bone to us.